Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen podcast with me, your host, BoredGamer, and Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
It's January, the middle of January 18th at time of recording, and it's a slow month. And I wanted to talk about what's coming up next. I wanted to talk about what reasons, I suppose, for why it's slow so far. 3.16.1, that alpha patch, there's quite a lot going on with that, though. We've got XenoThreat 3.0. I want to talk a little tiny bit about the Ion and Redeemer balance, but we've sort of covered that ad infinitum by now. We've got the new derelicts, we've got a potential hoverbike, the Jumptown and Ninetales lockdown event are over. I want to talk a little bit about what we've got to look forward to with the Lunar Festival in February, and obviously we're starting to move into the 3.17 Q1 2022 cycle now, and I want to talk about any potential roadmap changes, and we'll just see wherever the conversation goes. So are you prepared, Zin?
Yes.
Perfect. So, slow January. We haven't really had much this January in terms of news from Cloud Imperium. Every year, this sort of happens to an extent. It's the first week or two of January is very slow. Cloud Imperium is still coming back to the office. However, this seems to be a bit more prolonged. So we still don't have any new video content from Cloud Imperium this week. We do, however, have the monthly reports, which are going to be quite meaty. It is 2 months, plus probably like a week or two extra. So several weeks of monthly reports will sort of clump together for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That should be a huge amount of information, and we'll be able to work out a bit more of the intention, what Cloud Imperium have got. We're not even getting a roadmap update this week or anything like that, so it's a bit slow. How have you found the slow cycle, Zin? Is it sort of indifferent for you because you're still doing the same sort of work, or have you enjoyed playing the events more that we've got, which we'll come on to in a minute, or has it been sort of like, yeah, it is slow and it's hard because it's slow?
I mean, I've enjoyed playing the events, but I think, yeah, it's been slow, and it's like, I like information, and there's not been any, but that's fair enough. They've been on holiday.
Yeah, and that said, we have actually had a lot to keep us busy with in-game stuff to an extent, with 3.16.1 being on the PTU now, and the events that were going in the 3.16 live branch. So let's talk a bit about 3.16.1. That's the currently tested PTU patch. I'm expecting it to go live probably by the end of the week, if not next week, almost certainly. And they've been testing the new derelicts there. We've had a mess around with the new derelicts and the missions associated with them. They've sort of refreshed some of the derelicts they had with the Freelancer and the Starfarer, as far as I'm aware, but the Caterpillar is actually used in a much more unique way and has like jumping puzzles associated with it. But Cloud Imperium haven't really been testing a huge amount of these derelicts out in the PTU as of yet. It's just sort of very basic, and I'm expecting to see a lot more in 3.16.1 and 3.17. Have you been able to play with the derelicts much, Zin? Do you like the idea of what they're doing here? Do you think it actually provides a lot more gameplay, having these points of interest, even if it's just quite minor at the moment? Or do you think it's going to be good once they have a lot more?
It's not really my sort of thing, to be fair.
Okay.
Like, I think they're good. I think people who want to do that sort of thing, like, hopefully they will continue iterating on what they've got and making it better and good, and like, because obviously the times that we've gone there as well is it seems like somebody's already been there. So
yes, very recently.
Any sort of danger is already gone. So I'm hoping maybe they can have some sort of like refresh thing that happens on them more periodically.
Yeah, we were having a hard time finding laser trip mines and stuff, but we found lots of dead player bodies, things like that.
Yeah, blown up ships.
Yeah, I think that something this will lead on to very soon is me and Zin have been looking to do medical gameplay, doing rescuing people. Yeah. And we're hoping that lots of people need rescuing at these areas. That's one of the hopes there. I think they're going to be great once we have a huge amount more derelicts used and points of interest used. It adds a huge amount to the game. Give us a crashed 890 jump. Give us a crashed javelin and Idris and that sort of stuff as a mission. I know that this is from the new Turbulence studio. I say new Turbulence studio, from the Turbulence studio that's now focusing on gameplay area and that sort of stuff. So they're sort of warming up. We did see that amazing was it a javelin made into a town that they had done a while ago as sort of like a test. I want to see that. Give me that as a point of interest. So that's me whining.
I think that'd be great in I'd say in Pyro. Technically the planets aren't really habitable in Pyro, but I think that'd be great in Pyro.
Well,
You know?
Zin, what about the Pyro planet that we saw at CitizenCon? That looks pretty habitable.
Oh yeah, the one with the artifact on it.
So the Hadesian artifact. So they have retconned some of the Pyro stuff.
Yeah.
So that it is that some resources are more abundant, so that planet is clearly livable and has a breathable atmosphere and has those cool outposts on it. So Star Citizen is not beyond retconning a lot of stuff. It's still an alpha as well. So sort of bear that in mind as we look forward. I'm really looking forward to Pyro. Hopefully Pyro this year, but maybe a little bit beyond the scope of this video. So Zin, XenoThreat 3.0.
Yes.
We had a chance to very briefly mess around with the cargo phase, which is largely more of the same. Cargo is slightly less fiddly. FPS AI are more engaging. I'm not sure actually if I did the FPS stuff with you in the end.
We didn't do any FPS on what we played. I jumped on a server and they were already at the Defend Jericho stage. And
then the fleet battle. Yeah. The FPS AI in the actual Starfarers seem a lot more switched on and actually they run around. It's always worth scanning these derelicts, these wrecks, because you can see how many NPCs are on them. So you know, and because they're a bit more active now, you don't want to get sort of like shot by one. Yeah, that was good. The actual, when you're doing the cargo phase now, the NPC ships, the XenoThreat ships, they come in very regularly. Or at least more regularly, and engage targets. They have to find the target though, so if you power down, they seem to not target you unless they're very close, things like that. So bear that in mind. It is very much a group mission. It is incredibly hard to do with just a tiny group or by yourselves.
Or especially 2 people.
Yeah, so it would take a long time. And we were having problems when we were playing on the PTU servers that most people wanted to test out the new derelict stuff and have a look around that rather than do XenoThreat. And I think that a lot of people obviously were doing Jumptown as well on the live servers, but
yeah,
that's by the by. We did get to play the fleet battle a couple of times. The javelin was broken, as in didn't spawn.
No javelin,
which is a shame because that's one of the main features, if not the focus of the event.
Yeah.
However, it was quite fun and engaging fighting the three Idris in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Idropodes, and actually having a bit more of an interesting fleet battle where we were engaging XenoThreat at the end. So that was interesting. I mean, it does need the javelin. Cloud Imperium need to polish this and get it fixed, but the AI and NPCs are significantly better in my opinion, and the performance is great compared to what it's been previously. So really looking forward to all of that coming into a live build with a load of fixes. Something that we did find disappointing was the balance with the Redeemer and the Ion. I couldn't get on with the Redeemer at all. Me and Zin have got some footage of me just going, oh, I can't aim, it's hard, and oh my god.
It was really slow turning.
Yes, so for people that don't know, we had the Redeemer originally released, and it was pretty strong. But they sort of then, I believe, especially with its turrets, they slowed its speeds down, and it's a bit of quite a heavy fridge. It's got a huge amount of forward-facing firepower, although I do run out of ballistic ammo pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Still, because I'm a bad shot. I just found it, especially in prolonged fights, well, I can't hit very small ships at all. I have to rely on the turrets getting them. And you could say that that's sort of a mechanic that they want to keep. They don't want you to be able to track super fast targets. Okay, yeah, no worries. But I had so many problems with the ship. It feels a bit underpowered now that they've sort of tweaked it. And I'm sorry that I keep on coming back to this. And there's obviously the Ares Ion as well. I played around with the Ion, and any small ships I did hit with it, which I could hit occasionally, especially if they weren't focused on me, they would just explode. It's like, even with its nerfs. I didn't like the fact I could fire directly at a target and still miss, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's very powerful against the Idris and the larger ships, as it's supposed to be. And we did have a bit of a statement from Cloud Imperium, and I will ask Zin her opinions in a second, but I wanted to say what YogiCat said about the Ion. So he said, as of 3.16, the Ion weapon will stay as it is, because we're not really talking about the Ion ship, we're talking about the Ion's main weapon. That is what needs to be balanced or changed or whatever, maybe. And not because we think it's the best we can do, but because we could not spend a lot of time with it, and we had to be sure that it doesn't break the intended game balance. The first release of the Ion was an offender in that regard. It was extremely strong in dogfighting regime, and also was an often used tool for griefers as well. And that is certainly not something we aimed for the Ares to be. That's why we pulled back some changes after initial release. No one-shot kills, but retain the same DPS, and reduced the aiming helpers, no bullet nudging. So it might just be that I'm bad at shooting, and so I've got used to bullet nudging. However, I do feel that I would be hitting a lot more. I feel like I'm aiming directly at targets sometimes with it, and it just misses. And I'm interested to know what other people think. But that is just a temporary measure, and it certainly does not mean it will stay where it is. Before Xmas, we experimented on how to give the Ion its cannon feeling back, but without making it so effective in dogfighting against small ships. It is a platform against larger ships, after all. Needless to say, this work will not be done yet, but we also cannot give you a date or version yet when this will be changed. But it won't be for the 3.16 cycle. So what do you think of the Ion at the moment, Sin, and what they've basically said there?
Fair enough.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I said, they're doing what they can. They're not able to do what they want to do with it, but they're settling for something that doesn't break the game for people.
Yeah, I think that I love the Ion. I have an Ion. I want the Ion to be high DPS sniper ship and high alpha damage sniper ship, more specifically. However, I don't want it just to be the Ion meta. Everyone needs an Ion. The Ion just rocks and beats everything. That's just lame. And I understand that it's effectively a live product, or a live alpha product now, and they have to balance it for the game in the short term and currently. And they can come back and revisit this in the future. I'm happy that it's in-game, I'm happy that it's working, and I do quite like, for the most part, where Star Citizen is at the moment. I mean, it's obviously quite slow in development, there's a huge amount that needs to be done for the game, but it's very playable, very accessible. I mean, Sin, compared to when you first started covering Star Citizen with me, how much more accessible and playable would you say Star Citizen is?
Probably yes, in performance and in things to do. I mean, it still needs polish, like it's not a released game, it's still an alpha, but yeah, I think there's a lot more for people to do and be able to do in game than they used to be.
Yeah, I'm not stuck doing the same mission again.
Yeah, and like I said, also performance issues, like they used to be absolutely terrible before. Right,
so something else we might see for 3.16.1 is that consolidated Outland hoverbike. Cool to have it in the game.
It's another hoverbike.
And they've got the new Gravlev tech, which is pretty cool. I watched the Daymar Rally. It was quite cool to see the hoverbikes, although they can go very high in Daymar. So they sort of like fly over a mountain and then come back down. But obviously they're slower when they go up. It's cool. Daymar Rally's cool. Great racing all day event once a year. And it's a good laugh. So I'm glad that the Daymar Rally seemed to go pretty well. And I suspect you'll be able to see a load of different highlights on a load of people's channels in the near future if they're not already up. Something I did want to talk about that's in the current live build for 3.16 is, well, it's not there anymore, Jumptown and the Ninetales Lockdown. They're over now. The scheduled runnings of those are over. What did you think of I don't think you did the Ninetales Lockdown with me, did you? Because I played it sort of separately a few times.
Yeah, Ninetales, I mean, I should try it out at some point, but it's not the sort of thing I want to play.
Yes, I know you're not a massive fan of PvP, which is fair enough. That said, the Ninetales Lockdown now runs a bit better and plays a bit more fleet battle-y. The way I describe it. It is a lot more accessible to people. You can do it basically PvE. Sometimes you only need one side to actually start doing it, really, the PvE, the lawful side. It works pretty well as a PvP event, it seems, at least better than it did. And it's a lot more active, and you can make a lot of money from doing medical supplies at the stations that are locked down as well. Yeah, so the Ninetales Lockdown works pretty well now, at least much better than it used to. And the fighting Idrises and stuff with it's pretty good laugh. But Jumptown. So Jumptown has been the talk of the town for a while, and they had that last 48-hour event. I actually think that a lot of people were playing Jumptown rather than trying out XenoThreat on the PTU, which is fair enough, because you can make a huge amount of money doing Jumptown. Now, it was an absurd amount of money. However, there was a lot of risk there. Now, when me and Zin did it on the first couple of days that it was available to do, not that many people were doing it. So it was quite easy to make a huge amount of money. And lots of people are just being very friendly with each other. I mean, we had people holding the doors and sort of like helping us, taking this like queuing. And I quite like that. I like that sort of silly, friendly stuff. And then someone dropped a bomb on us and blew everyone up. And then grudges were made. But if you lock this area down or you steal a load of stuff, you could just make millions and millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of Alpha UBC pretty easily over like the day. And I think a load of people love that. People like the high risk, high reward from events like this, and I hope they do it a lot more. Like the Ninetales event and Jumptown, expect them to get scheduled again after XenoThreat 3.0, would be my expectation. Is that what you think as well, Zin? Like, it will be soon afterwards?
I don't know if that's what I think. I don't know what I think. I don't know what they have planned. But I think it would be nice to have small reruns of these events.
Yeah, in the short term.
I kind of think they shouldn't go on for so long. Like, it should be like, here's a week of XenoThreat, and then that's it for like a month or two. And then here's a week of Jumptown, and that's it for a month or two.
I love that idea in the short term to iterate on these things and to get them tested properly.
I think too much of it sort of you end up just burning out on it, basically.
Yes. I'm looking forward to when we have like 20 different types of event and they're all dynamic but not running, but you have like might be 3 are running because of how the dynamics of the system works, where certain triggers have been met. So you, with that you won't burn yourself out because they're not always going to be available every given day or when you're online. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them actually being truly dynamic events, because they are deemed, well, they're termed dynamic event, but they're not really yet. Of all the events so far, XenoThreat has been my favourite and continues to be my favourite. Is that true of you as well, Zin?
Yeah. I mean, Jumptown's good and it's a good way to make money, but I don't like PvP. I don't like that sort of conflict, so it is quite boring if I'm doing it the way I want to do it.
So it's strange, because you obviously you like stuff like, you previously played Counter-Strike and stuff, and you quite like Apex Legends, stuff like that. Is that because it's much more casual PvP? Or because you get anxiety, don't you, with this sort of like unanticipated PvP?
Yeah. I think it's slightly more casual. I mean, I do play like ranked and stuff like that, but it's still kind of quite casual. It's not like competitive or anything. But I feel like with Counter-Strike and Apex and stuff like that, it's kind of more of a level playing field.
Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. And you know what to expect. You're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of the Star Citizen community feel the same as you, like a huge portion. There's a lot of people that want just PvE or mostly PvE or safe areas. So it's going to be interesting to see how Cloud Imperium balance that over time. And I do think they're doing it reasonably well. I hadn't seen any PvP when I was playing XenoThreat 3.0.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone.
But that's not to say that there aren't people doing that. And obviously, people, as I said, were flocking to Jumptown in the live build, where there is very much PvP. Yeah, I'm expecting Ninetales Lockdown and Jumptown to be run again after XenoThreat 3.0 is sort of over, in my opinion, pretty soon after that. But we'll have to wait and see. I want to talk a little tiny bit about what might be happening in February. It's likely to be a Valentine's Day sale and the Lunar Festival. I think the Lunar Festival is sort of mid to end February, and that's where they have like the red ships and they have the little envelopes that you can find.
Yeah.
We might see a gift fiasco. Maybe they'll be worth a load of money on day one, but then they get nerfed. But I have to wait and see. But there'll be a load of free alpha UEC around and ship sales and stuff. Actually, that's a good point. With 3.16.1's release, you can expect at least a minor ship sale. And when XenoThreat 3.0 goes live, they'll have another combat ship sale. So if you're looking for certain ships, sort of bear that in mind. We are now moving into the 3.17 Q1 2022 sort of patch cycle as well. So after 3.16.1, 3.17 will be sort of like the main focus and talk. Now, we don't know what roadmap changes there have been on 3.17 yet, because Cloud Imperium have yet to reveal that. And we're sort of hoping that there was going to be a roadmap update this week, but it's going to be next week now, it seems. So hopefully next week we'll see Inside Star Citizen Live, and a roadmap update. But we'll probably be able to discern a little bit of what Cloud Imperium's focuses are this year from the monthly reports. There could be some major changes to that patch, but I'm hoping that we see the persistent hangers. Oh, I'm so looking forward to persistent hangers and selling of stuff, just random gear that we've looted, because once we have that, you're going to have people really scouring areas for loot and really looting each other's bodies to be able to flog all their gear to make that money.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, is it? Just a looter at heart. Yeah, so we don't know what's happening with 3.17 yet. I'm hoping that most of those features stay in that patch. What did I think? I think I thought that the hull A might slip, personally. I'm hoping that the persistent hangers don't. Ship-to-ship refueling, we don't know where it is at the moment. There's taxi missions as well. I'm hoping that all of that obviously is all in. But we'll have to wait and see, because 3.17 looks like quite a good patch. 3.18 looks huge and meaty at the moment, with things like the cargo system refactor and salvage and hacking, and how can they possibly have all of this in one patch? Well, let's hope they do.
No, they won't. They won't.
Oh no! Oh, you're probably right. But we're interested to know what you think. What are you excited to see through the first half of 2022? Are you excited for XenoThreat 3.0? Do you think that's actually going to be with 3.16.1 live? Do you think we're going to see 3.16.1 live end of this week and next week? What about those derelicts? If you messed around with them, played with them, do you think we're going to see a huge amount more with the live build of that patch? Jumptown and Ninetales Lockdown. Did you have fun? XenoThreat 3.0. Are you going to be playing in that a lot? Do you hate the balance changes to the Redeemer and the Ion? What have your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies? To see them driven before you? And to hear the lamentations of their women? No, of course not. It's NordVPN. I never saw Conan the Barbarian checking his bank balance and then watching some cool shows on Netflix, all while protecting his privacy and being super secure. To be honest, I can't even remember Conan wearing a shirt. Silly Conan. And now, a big old snake god's got your internet history. Good job. Don't be a Conan the Barbarian. Check out NordVPN. Links below for powerful discounts too. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For January 2022, it's for a Drake Cutlass Steel, a light assault dropship variant of the Cutlass, perfect for attacking Jumptown and similar narcotic processing areas. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that Star Citizen ship is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. If you would like to further support the channel, consider clicking the join button under my videos or becoming a Patreon. Comments, suggestions, likes and shares all help the channel massively too, so always feel welcome to share your opinion or feedback. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.